In this video, I'm continuing with multitasking, active, passive relationships, and finger wiggling. When pianists use note clusters and hand positions as the basis for movement and improvisation, it allows them to think ahead farther, play faster, and split attention more effectively. I'll explain. If you wiggle your fingers along a group of notes in your right hand, those notes will have some kind of harmonic and spatial relationship with your left hand. For example, this cluster of notes relates to the C half-whole diminished scale. But really, all scales are just a collection of these note clusters. So practice wiggling your fingers along one of these clusters. Then practice combining clusters, say these two, or these two. If you can start thinking more about the cluster-to-cluster movement rather than just the finger-to-finger movement, you should have more attention to devote to anticipating the next note cluster and keeping your left hand steady. It's important to remember that as I'm wiggling my fingers, I'm not necessarily thinking about rhythmic subdivisions. If I were to notate this, I'd probably be approximating and getting something ridiculous, like this, or this. This is one of the problems with notation representing improvisation in physical relationships. It reverse engineers rhythmic intent. I'm just finger wiggling, not necessarily playing triplets or five tuplets. At this point, hopefully you have enough left-hand autonomy that most of your practice can be devoted to moving through right-hand note clusters in different ways. This can be with specific subdivisions or finger wiggling. In fact, try taking a sequence of note clusters and switching between eighth notes and finger wiggling, say every 2 bars. There are a lot of micro adjustments that are happening between your hands, especially when you switch back to eighth notes. Essentially, we're synchronizing resolution between the hands. Sometimes this involves emphasizing and accenting a target note in the right hand, or moving through a note cluster differently to arrive at a target note quicker. It might also involve slightly anticipating or delaying the left hand. We're talking about milliseconds, but it's something that pianists inevitably do when improvising with physical relationships. As you explore this framework, obviously we're trying to keep our left hand as steady as possible, but remember that there's no such thing as a truly steady, exactly precise left hand. Micro adjustments are normal. That being said, it might be difficult to objectively tell how much your left hand is adjusting, so make sure you're recording and listening back to what you're playing.